at the rally of the amalgamation of Northern Women Association, Nigeria on Biafra referendum in Abuja on the 5th June 2021. We are the amalgamation of Northern women from all parts of the North, North Central, Northwest, and Northeast. We as mothers, we are always at the receiving end of any war, insurrection, killing, and act of terror. When our men were killed, we were raped and our children rendered orphans. We have nowhere to run to. Nigerian history has shown that women carry the heavy burden of war and act of insurrection and terrorism. We have gone through it from 1967 to 1971. Women, can we allow this to happen again? No! Our men die and left us with the children, no cattle for out of nothing. Other men that survive simply move on, but we never move on. The aftermath of the war and the suffering left a lifetime scars in our hearts and on our bodies. Can we allow this to continue? No! It is for this reason that we come together today and say we don't want another war, another insurrection. Could we allow this to continue? No! We therefore unanimously call on President Buhari as the leader and father of the country and the leadership of the National Assembly, President of the Senate, Dr. Ahmad Lawal, and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Hon. Femi Bajabiamiala, to immediately call for a referendum in the country. Let people choose to live in peace in Nigeria or leave. Any other group or nationality that want to sit or exercise their right for self-determination, like the Southeast has been agitated for the seat to be allowed to live Nigeria peacefully without resorting a second civil war. Today, the Igbo nation has turned the entire Southeast to almost a war zone. Northerners, irrespective of their tribes, are no longer safe. Infrastructure are no longer safe. Services personnel, from police to army, are not safe. INEC officers and other symbols of democracy in the country are being destroyed on daily basis. Our husband that goes to do businesses in the south is no longer return home safe. Our political leaders who travel to the northeast, to the southeast on national assignment are assassinated in broad daylight. Commuters in the southeast are often forced out of vehicles to be profiled, and if they are not northerners, they are usually executed there and then. It is in the light of the above that we are saying enough is enough. And let Mr. President allow for a referendum that will make people realize their long-term dream of being a Biafra nation. No more killing of northerners, no more killing of police officers, no more profiling of northerners and attacking their business. Let Igbo have their independent nation away from the rest of Nigeria. We thank you, gentlemen of press, as you carry this message through the news and cranny of Nigeria. Thank you all.
That part away from South Korea, or rather from Korea, breaking to South and North Korea, to the Western and Eastern Germany, to common here, Cameroon, that you have the English and the French part that are trying to go away. You know what is going on. So for anybody to be calling for war, or you think you can just separate, it's not easy. I believe in Nigeria. I believe Nigeria will continue to exist. Whether we like it or not, there is a problem. We need to discuss the problem. We are disagreeing with ourselves, and we have every reason to disagree. The North, before now, is saying we don't believe in separation. But as I'm standing, I'm telling you that if there's going to be separation tomorrow, the North is ready for it. We are also ready. Let's go our either ways. And I'm telling you this with all sincerity. Northern Nigeria before now do not want to hear anything separation. But as of today, as I speak to you, the North is equally ready to leave. That is number one. Number two, talking about presidency. What I'm going to say might be controversial. You might disagree with it, but it's the absolute reality, and I'm speaking the mind of Northerners. And I have no apology to anybody in this hall on what I'm going to say, though I respect the leaders, elders, and fathers that are here. I duly respect them. But I have no apology to anybody on what I'm going to say. Let's please be serious. We are here for a serious business. Let us not make it a discussion floor if we truly want to do this. Now, talking about rotational presidency, what I thought we should be looking at is credibility, competency, patriotism, nationalistic thinking, the love for one another, and things like that. That is what I thought should constitute who becomes Nigeria's president. Not regional, tribal, ethnical, or any other thing. Please disagree with me, but I will speak. This is why we are here.
Predicament of northern people in the southern part of Nigeria. Jami'iyyar Matan Arewa, our stand. Our beloved country, Nigeria, is today sadly at a precipice. The northern part of Nigeria has become the epicenter of perennial crisis of epic proportions from all fronts. The north, as we know it, is rich in culture and tradition, and endowed with untapped human and natural resources that has the propensity to propel Nigeria as a superpower as envisaged by our founding fathers. Regrettably, for the past 12 years, the North has been under a relentless onslaught by Boko Haram insurgents and of recent, incessant banditry, herded farmers' clashes of unknown origin, with its attendant impact on the social, economic development of the country, of the region and the country at large. This is the situation the North has found itself in today's 21st century. To further compound matters, Northerners are now profiled, attacked, intimidated, killed, and often receive hostile reception in the southwest and the southeast geopolitical zones. We are all witnesses to the recent murder and orchestrated destruction of shops, properties belonging to Northerners at Shasha Market and Igangan community in Oyo State, and the incineration of a trailer load of cattle and foodstuffs from the north in Anambra State. It is instructive to note that since the creation of the Nigerian state, the North has always welcomed and accommodated people from all parts of the country to live in peace and harmony and go about their businesses without let or hindrance. There also has been numerous intermarriages, religious connectivity, and affiliations of both Christian and Muslim faiths in the spirit of peaceful coexistence in an effort to build a united, prosperous nation. That is what our culture and tradition has taught us. We didn't choose to be in Nigeria, but God in His infinite wisdom has brought us together. Ladies and gentlemen, the question to ask at this juncture is this: why the blatant hatred for Northerners? Is this the reward for being accommodating? Why can't the concerned Southerners, if I may say so, reciprocate the gesture to live in peace with Northerners in their midst? Or is there a conspiracy theory to deprive us of developing and send us into oblivion? Let me make it clear, we are not begging or running in cap in hand for handouts. History has recorded that the North has contributed to the development of this country even before the oil boom, of which recent discoveries in alternative sources of energy has become a priority rather than continued dependence on oil as a priced commodity as others would have wanted in the foreseeable future. Today, we affirm that enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
At home in the north, we are not spared. In some particular regions, geopolitical zones, where we feel we would be welcomed, we are targeted and not spared. This has to stop. We believe we are in a democracy. We've laid down procedures and processes to address national concerns or agitation of some sort. Today, the Jamia Matan Ariwa, the voice of the northern woman, is calling on His Excellency, President Muhammad Buhari, and the leadership of the National Assembly to immediately consider the following options. 1. Reconvene a national conference as a follow-up to the one held in 2014. 2. The issues of the Nigerian state has been a subject of discourse for some time now. We feel the concerns can be channeled through the elected representatives of the National Assembly to be thoroughly debated as required under a democratic dispensation. Or, number 3, better still, hold a referendum. While commending the government for its untiring effort to tackle the Hydra-headed security challenges in the country today, we are convinced that the concerns being raised by certain sections of the country can be addressed in a civilized and peaceful manner than resorting to violence, killings, etc. To forestall a total breakdown of law and order which could lead to a precarious situation we all don't pray for, God forbid. The well-known tolerance and perseverance of the North should not be taken for granted.
That the country is headed for more crises. Nigerians live in fear of violence today and in fear of an uncertain future. The capacity of the Nigerian state to secure citizens, protect the country's territorial integrity, and resist violent assaults on our unity is weakening to levels of making threats that have no impact. Armed criminals of all types have increased their audacious stranglehold over our lives in all parts of the country. Irredentists are increasingly asserting their influence over in the southeast and some parts of the country, and in the manner that millions of Nigerians now live. Rhetorics from political leaders and ethnic champions who speak in threats and demands routinely suggest that the sentiments in support of irredentism are becoming more widespread. All Nigerians are paying the price of failure of two sets of leaders. At the national level, the administration appears to have lost the capacity to hold the gradual descent of the country into anarchy. Political leaders in the southeast appear to have submitted to violence and terror of IPOB and ESN. Muted voices of millions of Igbo cannot be heard, so that Nigerians can understand the degree to which secession by the Igbo represents their popular choice. Nigeria has had to fight two terrible wars to preserve the country. The North has paid its dues in that war, and indeed in many ways throughout the history of our country. Under our current circumstances, no Nigerian should welcome another war to keep this country together. The North in particular has more than enough challenges, and we recognize that violent secession by any part of Nigeria will compound the problems of all Nigerians under which we live. The forum has arrived at the difficult conclusion that if support for secession among the Igbo is as widespread as it is being made to look, and Igbo leadership appears to be in support of it, then the country should be advised not to stand in its way. It will not be the best choice for the Igbo or Nigerians to leave a country we have all toiled to build, and a country we all have responsibility to fix. But it will not help a country already burdened with failures on its knees to fight another war to keep the Igbo in Nigeria. This forum insists that attacks and killings of northerners and federal government employees and destruction of national assets must stop. Those who have been involved in it must be arrested and prosecuted. Until the Igbo decide whether it wants to secede or remain part of Nigeria, The law applies to it, and the federal and state governments who have responsibility to enforce the law and protect citizens must enforce it. We support calls for northerners who are exposed to harassment and violence to consider relocating to the north. Unlike the postures and complacency of the leaders of the southeast, we advise that all Igbo and other ethnic groups from the south residing in the north should be accorded the usual hospitality and security. The Forum believes that it is vital to address amendments to the Constitution and achieve major changes in the structure and operations of our federal system now. Members of the National Assembly elected by Nigerians have lost touch with the people they are supposed to represent. This explains the major distances which exist between the people and the vital national institution which should play a major role in mitigating national crises. The National Assembly should explore additional avenues for tapping into opinions that can help address serious limitations to the federal system before the 2023 elections. The North is willing to discuss all matters related to constitutional amendments and restructuring with the leadership of the country and other groups who see their presence in the future of Nigeria. Thank you. It is in the statement the North supports the restructuring of the country and believes that groups like ours should get together. If the government would not facilitate a meeting of groups, if the avenue provided by the National Assembly is too inadequate, and we believe it is inadequate, there is nothing stopping Nigerians from organizing their own dialogue and making sure that it enters into the constitutional channels that are available. We believe that we should do this, because a lot of Nigerians believe that the exercise just concluded by the National Assembly was insufficient. The quality of representations made there do not reflect what Nigerians really need. We are willing to talk to the National Assembly because we recognize the fact that under the law they are the only body that has the power to amend the Constitution. We are willing to discuss with them. There are other groups that are willing to do so. That's why in our statement we said they should expand their avenue. They should expand the opportunity for groups to talk to them.